My daughter, my son, stop everything you are doing right now and listen carefully to every word I am going to say to you. You did not get here by chance. It was not an algorithm that brought you here. It was not a passing curiosity. It was I who called you, who guided you, who whispered in your heart to stop at this very moment and listen to my voice. Since you woke up today, a strange restlessness has taken hold of your chest, a feeling that something is about to happen, that an important revelation is coming. And you were right, because today I have something urgent to tell you. Archangel Michael, the commander of my heavenly army, has been insisting on speaking with you. He came to me with a specific concern about your life, about a situation that is consuming you from within, about a person who has stolen your peace. Yes, you know exactly who I am talking about. That person who appears in your thoughts when you should be sleeping, who makes you question your own worth, who leaves you confused about what is real and what is illusion. Miguel has observed how this person has been affecting your spirit and has asked for special permission to intervene in your life today. You have been feeling strange lately, haven't you? A pressure in your chest that you cannot explain, thoughts that go round and round in circles, a constant feeling that something is not right, but you cannot identify what it is. You have been waking up tired even after sleeping, feeling a heavy energy around certain people, having confusing dreams that leave you restless when you wake up. I want you to know that you are not imagining things. You are not going crazy. You are not overreacting. There's indeed a spiritual battle going on around you, and at the center of that battle is a specific person who has caused more damage to your soul than you can realize. This person did not come into your life by coincidence, and although you do not yet fully understand what is happening, I see everything with complete clarity. I see the mind games, I see the subtle manipulation, I see how she has planted seeds of doubt about your own worth. I see how you have struggled to understand behaviors that don't make sense, how you have tried to find logic in attitudes that only serve to confuse you. And that is why I sent Miguel with a specific mission, to open your spiritual eyes before the damage becomes even greater. I don't want you to live in constant fear. I don't want you to become a suspicious or bitter person. But I need you to develop spiritual discernment, to learn to distinguish between what comes from me and what comes from other sources. I need you to stop justifying behaviors that hurt your soul, to stop making excuses for those who do not deserve your kindness. What you call coincidence, I call divine mercy. I am intervening in situations that you cannot see because I love you too much to allow you to be destroyed. Miguel does not come to condemn anyone. He does not come to spread hatred or revenge. He comes to protect you, to reveal truths that have been hidden, to cut spiritual ties that are draining your life force. He comes to show you that this person is not your refuge, not your salvation, not your destiny. And if I continue to allow this influence to remain close to you, you will end up straying from the glorious purpose I have prepared for your life. You have cried out for direction. You have begged for clear answers. You have said over and over again, if this is not for me, show me a sign. Well, here is your answer. This message is my way of telling you that you are not alone. You are not mistaken about what you have been feeling. You are not exaggerating your perceptions. Miguel is here with a direct message from heaven, and the message is simple but powerful. It is time to walk away before it is too late. This is not about cultivating hatred or resentment. It is not about judging or condemning. It's about self-care, about obeying my voice, about choosing healing instead of constant hurt. I can't heal what you refuse to let go of. I can't give you something new if you continue to hold on tightly to what is old and broken. I can't reveal the truth to you if you continue to embrace lies out of fear of loneliness or emotional attachment. So open your heart and listen carefully. If Miguel was sent, it is because there is still time to break this destructive cycle. Time to close this door that has only brought confusion. Time to walk away from those who do not value the preciousness of your heart. Today is the first step on this journey of liberation. And the first step is always to understand the truth. Heaven moved specifically for you. My daughter, my son, You thought you were alone in that painful moment. You thought no one saw what happened, that no one heard the words that were said to you, that no one realized what that person did to your heart. But I saw everything. I was there. In that moment when your soul broke in silence, I was present. You don't need to justify your pain because I know every detail of the whole truth. I know exactly what they said behind your back. I know how they manipulated words to look good in front of others, while you carried all the guilt in your heart. I saw how they humiliated you and then made you feel wrong for reacting. I saw how they toyed with your feelings, how they made you doubt yourself, how they smiled on the outside, while on the inside they wove lies about your character. And I know that many times you asked yourself why I didn't do anything, why that person remained calm while you suffered in silence. Before continuing, write this mantra in the comments. My energy is sacred and no evil has power over me. This shows the universe that you recognize your value and no longer accept being affected by toxic energies. Now pay attention to what I'm going to tell you, because my silence was never abandonment, it was protection. It was divine patience to give you time to open your eyes and stop carrying burdens that weren't yours. This person not only hurt you with their actions, they stole your energy, your peace, your self-esteem. They confused you, wore you down, and sometimes even made you believe that you were the problem. But my daughter, my son, it's not your fault for loving too much. It's not your fault for believing. It's not your fault for trying to heal someone who didn't want to be healed. That's why I'm telling you, don't ignore what you saw with your own eyes. Don't minimize what I've already shown you through clear signs. There are things that person did when they thought no one was defending you. But Miguel was there watching. I was present every moment. And if you are now listening to these words, it is because heaven is already working in your favor. Do you know what is most beautiful in all this? Although the enemy used that person to break you, I will use all that pain to lift you up stronger. There is no tear that I will not turn into strength. No rejection that I will not convert into redirection. No betrayal that I will not turn into a blessing. I did not ask for perfection from you. I asked for availability, and you are available. You are here. You are listening. And that is enough for me to begin to work powerfully in your life. The person you are suffering for has no control over your future. That person cannot block what I have already prepared for you. And although they have acted in secret, my justice will be public, not out of revenge, but so that you can see that I defend those who trust me. Now write in the comments, I am guided, protected, and strengthened by the angels of good. From this point on, nothing will be the same as before, because I am pulling you out of the emotional mud they put you in. I am removing the weight from your shoulders. I am sending Michael not only to cut the ties, but to restore what you lost in the midst of pain. Your voice, your value, your true identity. Don't go back. Don't silence your pain anymore. Don't ignore what heaven has already revealed to you. Trust me, because what is coming now is complete restoration. I am not far away. I am with you, walking by your side. And if I bring you this word today, it is because I am freeing you from the emotional chains that bound you. I am restoring your dignity. I am healing the wounds that seemed invisible but hurt your soul. The person who hurt you is not your enemy, but they are also not your responsibility. Not everyone who comes into your life is meant to stay. Some just pass through. Others come to teach you something specific, and some arrive with a mission from the adversary to divert you from your purpose. But I did not allow the plan to be completed. I protected you. I awakened you. I spoke to you through dreams, signs, and restlessness that warned you. Today I want to open your eyes to a fundamental truth. Not everything that appears to be light comes from me, and not everything that appears to be darkness is necessarily from the enemy. You have been living confused by appearances, beautiful words, false smiles, and gestures empty of real meaning. But the time has come to see with my eyes, not just with your wounded feelings and desperate hopes. For too long you have measured things by what you can see on the surface. If someone treats you well occasionally, you believe they are good at heart. If they make you laugh one day, you convince yourself that the problem was your exaggerated interpretation. If everyone around you seems to like them, you assume you're seeing things that aren't there. But listen carefully. I don't see the way men see. I don't let myself be fooled by superficial charisma or well-constructed masks. I look directly into the heart, and that person's heart is already affecting you much more than you want to admit. I don't blame you for that. I know you just wanted true love, genuine peace, a little sincere companionship. I know you didn't get into this situation with bad intentions, but I also see that you are ignoring clear signs that I have been showing you. You are justifying the unjustifiable. You are blinded by a wounded soul, and an unhealed wound causes everything to be seen through the lens of pain. So today, with much love, I come to open your spiritual eyes. What you call love, I call emotional manipulation. What you call friendship, I call an open door for the enemy to enter your life. What you call destiny, I call a dangerous detour from your true path. And what you call companionship, I call an invisible chain that binds you to a destructive cycle. Write in the comments, where there is light, no shadow remains. This is your invisible shield against everything that has tried to stop you until today. Now take a deep breath, because the next revelation will move you deeply. Why do you think that every time you get close to this person, your mind becomes confused? Why do you lose your inner peace? Why do you start to doubt yourself and even me? It is because there is a heavy spiritual burden there that does not come from my presence. The Archangel Michael is already fighting for you at this very moment, but I cannot force your free will. I need you to choose to see the truth. I need you to decide to let go of what is holding you back. I need you to have the courage to trust what I show you more than what you feel. Satan is cunning and knows human nature well. He doesn't always appear with horns and fire like in the movies. Often he comes disguised as affection, as someone who seems to understand you deeply, as someone who makes you feel special and unique, only to lock you up in an emotional prison where you yourself hand over the keys to your freedom. So my daughter, my son, open your eyes and ask for spiritual discernment. Don't live guided only by intense emotions. Live by the clear direction I am giving you. It's not about how you feel about this person. It's about what this person is causing inside you, what they are provoking in your soul. And I did not create you to live doubting yourself, repressing your voice, extinguishing your light just so that someone else won't be bothered by your brilliance. I raised you to shine brightly, to move forward with purpose, to love without losing yourself in the process, to serve without emotionally enslaving yourself, to forgive, but also to close cycles when necessary. Today I give you a powerful tool, true discernment. With it, you will begin to see what you previously overlooked. You will notice attitudes you previously ignored. You will detect patterns you previously confused with genuine love. And you will begin to gradually distance yourself, not out of hatred or resentment, but out of self-love and obedience to my voice. Because when you see what I see, you can no longer act as you did before. When the truth is revealed, the illusion loses all its power over you. If I am speaking to you with such clarity and firmness today, it is because you are ready to take the next step. You are ready to let go of what seemed good but was rotten inside. Ready to stop living half a life. Ready to receive what comes after true obedience. I am with you every moment, guiding you with a firm hand. And I would not show you the truth if I did not have something infinitely better prepared for your life. What is to come will be much more than you can imagine. But first you need to have the courage to close the door on what does not build you up, on what only confuses you, on what drains your life force. Trust me, because my plans for you are for good, not for evil. They are for hope and a prosperous future. My daughter, my son, not all the pain you feel came directly from that person. Some of the wounds you are healing today were caused by something deeper, darker, and quieter than you can imagine. Today I come to speak to you with the complete truth, without filters, because you need to understand what has really been happening behind the scenes of your life. The enemy has studied you carefully, observed your emotional voids, your most intimate fears, your most sincere desires, and sought the most effective way to use all of this against you. And often the most powerful weapon they found was precisely through this person who worries you so much. Yes, this same person whom you loved with all your heart, whom you cared for zealously, whom you defended even when others questioned them. They were not necessarily your declared enemy, but they were used by your adversary as an instrument of confusion and attrition. The enemy rarely attacks with obvious shouting or scandals, because that would be easy to identify and resist. Instead, they attack with calculated silences, with subtle contempt, with words that seem like advice but are loaded with emotional poison. And you felt it firsthand, didn't you? Every time you spoke and weren't really heard. Every time you trusted and then found out they used it against you. Every time you left a conversation feeling emptier than when you entered, even when it was supposed to be a loving interaction. It was your adversary draining your strength, your faith, your self-worth, drop by drop, almost imperceptibly. But listen to this with all your heart. I did not allow this to destroy you. I allowed it to reveal 3 fundamental things to you: who the people around you are, who you really are, and who I am in your life. And today, my daughter, my son, I come to tell you something extremely important. I have already come to defend you in a powerful way. Yes, the Archangel Michael is by your side right now, breaking chains you didn't even know existed. I am disabling emotional traps, closing doors that seemed like opportunities, but were actually pitfalls, and removing people who should no longer walk with you on this journey. Do not be afraid when they begin to walk away from your life. Do not be alarmed if relationships begin to break down without apparent explanation. Sometimes you think you are losing something valuable, when in reality, I am rescuing you from a situation that would only hurt you in the long run. You don't see what happens behind the scenes. You don't hear the conversations that take place behind your back. You don't know the true thoughts that pass through the heart of someone who says they love you but carries contrary intentions in their soul. Write this in the comments now. The light that guides me is stronger than any darkness. This statement seals your courage, your faith, and your spiritual rebirth. Continuing the message, I know all this, and that is why I act, even when you do not understand the process. Sometimes my defense seems like rejection. It seems like loneliness. It seems like I am leaving you alone in the world. But it is not like that. I am removing everything that does not allow you to truly grow. I am clearing the emotional ground. I am preparing the way for something pure, true, and lasting to enter your life. The person who hurt you is not your personal enemy, but it is also not your responsibility or life mission. Not everyone who enters your journey is destined to remain until the end. Some are just passing through, others came to teach you something specific, and some arrived with a mission from the adversary to divert you from your greater purpose. But I did not allow that plan to be fully carried out. I protected you through unexplained restlessness. I awakened you through disturbing dreams. I spoke to you through signs that made you uneasy. And now I am speaking to you with a clear voice, like a loving father who will not allow his child to sink into destructive illusions. You are no longer alone in this invisible battle. Your adversary thought he possessed you through his influence. He thought he would be enough to make you renounce everything that is important to you. But you are here, you are seeking my voice. You are willing to listen, to change, to move forward with courage. And so I declare to you, you are already being actively defended. Michael is fighting in the invisible world while you are being set free in the visible world. You are not a helpless victim, you are a courageous survivor. And now you will be a powerful witness, because you will see with your own eyes how every tear will be answered with justice, how every injustice will be healed with restoration, and how this pain that seemed eternal will be transformed into a strength that even you will not be able to fully explain. Continue to trust me. You don't have to fight alone, because I fight for you with infinite power. Today I want you to hear something you must never forget. Your heart deserves true peace. You were not created to live with constant anxiety, with doubts that rob you of your sleep, with a love that feels more like a heavy burden than a liberating blessing. I did not create you for this life of constant emotional turmoil. I created you for fulfillment, for genuine freedom, for joy that does not depend on anyone else's mood or approval. But I have watched as you have tied yourself emotionally to something that no longer nourishes you spiritually. I have seen how you have clung to a person who simply does not care for your soul with the zeal you deserve. So today I say to you firmly, but also with deep love, the Archangel Michael is coming to cut this spiritual bond that binds you. This is not about revenge. It is not about cultivating hatred. It is not about wishing evil on someone. It is about self-love. It is about obedience to my voice. It is about your greater destiny. This emotional bond that you have maintained, often without realizing it, has drained your vital forces. It has robbed you of your ability to dream of freedom. It has left you emotionally tied to someone who today does not even honor you as you deserve. And although you say that you have let go of this person, I know that there are invisible threads that continue to pull your soul back. Why do you keep looking at your phone waiting for a message that never comes? Why are you overcome with inexplicable sadness every time you see that person moving forward in life without you? Why does guilt paralyze you when you think about closing this chapter for good? It's because there is still an active spiritual bond, a soul connection that you cannot break on your own. But I have already sent powerful help. Miguel comes with his sword unsheathed, not to hurt, but to liberate with divine precision. To cut everything that is preventing you from breathing easily, to break that emotional cord that ties you to the past, to pain, to fear, to destructive emotional dependence. Write in the comments, I am protected by invisible forces working in my favor. This opens the way for the angels to work even more powerfully in your life. And now comes something you really need to know. I don't want to see you living on emotional crumbs. I don't want you to get used to thoughts like, at least they don't treat me so badly. At least they check in on me once in a while. Maybe they'll change if I wait a little longer. No, my daughter, my son. That's not love. That's emotional slavery disguised as hope. Your heart was designed for so much more than that. And if you're listening to these words right now, it's because the time has come to let go of what drains your energy, to close the door on a cycle that has run its course, to let go of that rope before it ends up suffocating what's left of your faith. I know it hurts deeply. I know that part of you still hopes for a turnaround, a word of reconciliation, a miracle in this complicated relationship. But I want you to trust me. What you call hope is often an attachment that prevents you from moving forward to something much better. And what you believe you are losing is actually the obstacle that prevents you from receiving what I truly have in store for you. You don't have to keep repeating painful cycles. You don't have to keep giving everything to someone who doesn't care for you, doesn't respect you, doesn't lift you up spiritually. I didn't ask you to be a martyr in a story I didn't write. I asked you to trust my script, not your wounded expectations. And today that script clearly says, my peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. This peace has no invisible chains, no constant doubts, no tears hidden in your pillow in the middle of the night. This peace comes when you decide to believe more in what I tell you than in what that person promises you with empty words. It comes when you say with conviction, Lord, do your will, even if it hurts me today, because I know it will heal me tomorrow. So open your heart, allow Miguel to do what you couldn't do alone. Let his spiritual sword cut away what binds you to a love that is no longer healthy for your soul. Get ready, because when that bond is finally broken, the first thing you will feel is a peace that has no logical explanation, a lightness in your soul that you had forgotten existed, a clarity of mind. A strength that seemed lost but was always there, just imprisoned. Now it just needed to be released through your courageous obedience. What comes after this liberation will be so good that you will wonder why you waited so long to take this step of faith. Trust me, because my plans for you are always for complete restoration, never for destruction. Today I want you to understand something that will bring definitive freedom to your soul. That person was not your destiny. They were a lesson. Not everyone who comes into your life is meant to stay until the end of the journey. Some just pass through to teach you something fundamental. And although it is painful to accept, this is also part of my greater plan for you. I know you had illusions. I know you prayed fervently, that you gave yourself wholeheartedly, that you gave your best in this relationship. And you were not wrong to do so, my daughter, my son. What was wrong was to think that this relationship defined you completely, that if it broke, you would also be broken forever. But let me remind you of something you seem to have forgotten. You were not created by this person. You were created by me. And when something does not come directly from me, even if it seems beautiful at first, it ends up weighing on the soul. Do you remember the times when your spirit was restless for no apparent reason? The times when something inside you whispered, "This isn't right"? I was gradually showing you that this was not the way. But you, out of love, out of hope, out of fear of loneliness, held on tightly. And today you are here with a weary heart, asking me why. And I answer you with infinite tenderness and truth. It wasn't a mistake, it was a valuable lesson. And what you learn now will prepare you perfectly for what comes next. You didn't fail because you loved intensely. You didn't lose because you trusted. You aren't defeated because you tried. On the contrary, you grew in maturity, in discernment, in true faith. And although you now see everything as a painful loss, very soon you will see that it was an essential part of the growth process. That person showed you aspects of yourself that you didn't know, taught you your limits, showed you how much you can endure. But they also revealed to you how far you should never go again. And when everything fell apart, I was there picking up every piece of your soul, supporting you when no one else could. Write in the comments, "My heart is light, and no evil can resist this vibration." This reinforces your inner strength and dissolves any energy that tries to destabilize you. What I'm about to tell you is surprising. Sometimes my greatest blessings come disguised as painful goodbyes. And although your heart doesn't understand that now, you will thank me very quickly. Because I know the damage that person was causing inside your soul. I know the insecurity they planted, the constant comparison, the doubt about your worth, the emotional dependence that grew silently and stole your voice. I saw it all happen, and I won't allow it anymore. Today, I come to tell you with absolute certainty, this person is not your end. They were a page in your story, not the entire chapter, much less the title of the book of your life. Stop going back to old messages, stop looking at photos, stop waiting for a word of reconciliation that may never come. Because you don't need that person to recognize you in order to have value. You are valuable because you are mine, and what I value, no one can ever destroy. Don't cling to the past just because you invested time and energy. You didn't lose precious years. You gained wisdom. You didn't lose love. You gained spiritual insight. You weren't abandoned. You were redirected to something infinitely better. And now, with the lesson well learned, you are ready to receive what is true. Because I will not allow a painful season to define your future forever. I allow a wound to become a scar, and the scar to become a powerful testimony of my care. So today, let go of the idea that this person was the only one, because I am the only one who will never fail you. I am the only one who will never walk away. And I am the only one who has your entire story in my hands. You deserve so much more than that relationship offered you. You deserve stable peace, constant joy, and above all, you deserve to walk in your true purpose. What comes next will be immensely better. Not because there won't be challenges, but because now you know who you are, and you know who I am in your life. I want to end by asking you for something special. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, because I have so much more to talk to you about. And if these words touched you, tell me in the comments what moment stood out to you the most. What insight brought you the most clarity? I want to know how this message touched your heart and what transformation is beginning in your life. Because when you share your story, you not only strengthen your own faith, but you inspire others who are going through similar situations. This community is a safe place to share our journeys of healing and growth. So don't be ashamed to be vulnerable here, to share what this process of liberation has been like for you.